Okay, we'll look at GCAD in a second. That covers CHF JPY. That covers Euro USD. Eurocad, I've got this marked up from last night. You've got a 2-3 candle formation here in the Asian session at about 8 p.m. That ends up carrying here, as you can see, higher, and it actually maxes out average daily range right there at about 4 o'clock this morning. So now as we're looking for Eurocad to potentially come higher, I don't disagree with the bias that you guys are looking at, but please do not get into this trade thinking that it's in an upshift. Your 8 and 21 EMAs are crossed down, which tell me that it could hold the 8 EMA and come lower. If you look at the market sentiment line right now on the 1 minute, it is in the sell zone. There's no strong divergence here. Price is falling, RSI is falling. I would not be looking to buy this right now. It's not ready. Make that market sentiment line get up into the buy zone here, get some structure here with higher lows, right? And get an upshift here on the 15-minute. Austin and everybody that just asked about Eurocad, that's the way that I would handle Eurocad. It is not a high probability long setup as of right now. Make sense? Any questions on that? You can really consider Austin's courses. I was watching him for over a year, finally purchased the courses, and don't regret it. Thank you, Ebert. I appreciate you saying that, man. I really do. Ebert was on the webinar last night, too, for the backtesting thing. Ebert is committed, and that's why he's seeing the gains. Some Nebzi asked, what about AUD USD? AUD USD is not on my watch list because it's such a slow pair. Today, again, it maxed out its average daily range. Its average daily range is only 50 pips, so it doesn't move very much on an average day anyway. A lot of pairs today, we woke up and saw they maxed out average daily range. This is one of them. Once it's maxed out ADR and we're trading at that ADR line, I'm not going to trade it towards the low a day here. I don't know if it could go lower or if it's going to reverse because it's at average daily range. Look at Euro NZD last night. Huge move through average daily range. This is news driven. There was NZD news last night. Normally they don't move through their average daily range this much. Same thing here if you look at GBP NZD. It caught the NZD news, triple ADR overnight. That only happens on news. Now that's going to increase the ADR over the next couple of days, which is a good thing. But for today, it just doesn't make the watch list. Some of you guys asked about GBP USD. Market sentiment was really good here. The reason this did not make the list right now, it hit oversold twice, so I don't love that. One oversold is okay. Two oversold is clearly less probable, right? One oversold is, one is less than two. Simple. On top of that, I said the market sentiment line looks good. The ADR is the issue here, but this could definitely be something that's on the watch list. It looks like it broke out really clean overnight here, similar to GBP CHF. I have this marked up as a nice shift candle last night, and now this is continuing through ADR. Look at how well it's holding that 8 EMA. When you're in a trade and you get a good trade, like same thing for GJ for me, it can hold that 8 EMA all day. Like this is going to come to 150.50. This is going to hit my target that I tweeted about. 100%. USD CHF, moving lower here. This did not make my watch list, even though this has been in a very clean downtrend for 2 days, 3 days. Market sentiment here was swapping, so it's not on the watch list today for those of you that asked about USD CHF. You can see I'm looking for perfect market sentiment like Euro JPY, GBP JPY. Look at Euro GBP. This was on my watch list. Now that it's getting close to ADR, I'm not really interested in it, especially since I found my winning trade today. But it hit overbought. That doesn't turn me off. It's still a perfect market sentiment line. And look at these EMAs. It's beautiful. So this is much more where I find my best trades versus USD CHF with that swapping market sentiment line. All right, so what we just did right there, we covered a lot of pairs. Any questions? If there are no questions, hit the thumbs up button. Let me know that you guys are following me. Thoughts on Euro AUD? We can go into that in a second here. Great Trend Spider Trading Pit podcast. May have been Benzinga LOL by doing you nevertheless. Thanks, Art. In the course, you learn about full trend EMAs, but when you remind us about the EMAs being closed first spread out and showing us, it's so different. Good, Nicole. I'm glad that it's sticking. GBP AUD, Tika. Let's take a look at that real quick. That, again, was not on the watch list. This did not make the list today. Same thing. Swapping market sentiment line, which I'm assuming you know what that is, Tika, because you're in the course. I know you're coming to the Tampa seminar, so I think you get that. Swapping market sentiment. It hit overbought, not a big deal, but also, most importantly, it's already maxed out its ADR. So you'd be trading here from the 50 towards ADR, but on top of that, now look, it's in a downshift. Whenever it's in a downshift with the 8 EMA under the red 21 EMA, the long trades are going to be a lower probability trade. It can still work. You could still buy it from that position and still have a winning trade. We have those in the backtesting. We have those in the markups. But for me, you want to be trading when the shift is already there. If this wasn't so close to ADR, right? how close price is to average daily range right here. You could let it shift up and then trade the pullback after that, but that is not going to happen here today to give us a good setup if we're abiding by the ADR rules. Okay. Someone said Euro AUD. Let's take a look at that. This again, swapping liquid 50. See how it starts the day in the sell zone and then rises up into the buy zone. Overbought twice, and it's maxed out average daily range. So many pairs have gone through average daily range today. You can disregard that. Like someone said in the chat this morning in the group chat, one of the guys was like, I'm disregarding ADR because it's already volatile. That's fine. But if you lose that trade, you can point to that disregarding right there, saying I'm going to disregard something on my checklist. You can point to that and say that's exactly why you lost the trade. Disregarding something that's on your checklist, when your checklist comes from back testing and a strategy that's proven profitable in the past, to disregard something on the checklist is to let an emotion, which is the wanting to trade, it's letting that into your trading. And that, of course, is not going to be how we can build a consistent business. Trading on emotions is not going to be consistent. Emotions are constantly changing. So when you say, oh, I'm disregarding the ADR today, that to me says you're being too emotional with your trading and not being unbiased enough to say, hey, oh, this maxed out average daily range? All right, let me go find something else. Why would I want to trade something that's already moved what it does on an average day? That doesn't make any sense. Eurocad looks so nice, but you might see the shift here. Yeah, maybe. If it shifts up, that's great. Let it shift up. Let it shift up, and then it can come back down. We can trade a pullback for a D1. If you had good 1 minute divergence, which you do not, there's no 1 minute divergence here, Tika. It's there, right? Right in there, but that's not the kind of divergence that we want to be trading. You want solid divergence that took an hour to build or a half an hour to build, not 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? I don't get a trade because all my pairs on the watch list hit ADR. That's fine. Sometimes I get stressed after trading. Is there anything to solve that? Yeah, I think you can remove all the stress from your trading if you have a system to follow. Everybody in here that is in ASFX, their chats clearly are more confident than the people like the guy that just asked that question, because that guy doesn't have a trading system. The people that have gone through our courses and understand what a system is, it removes a lot of stress from your trading because you know what you know and you know what you don't know. You're not trying to chase every move. You're trying to find that perfect entry. And look, some days are going to show up. The market's going to look like shit. It's going to be moved around from news. It's going to be maxed out ADR. And you're just going to have to deal with it and not trade that day. Or, like I did, find a better trade setup. That's it.